Hello, people. Today is Friday, and we're going to talk about the 6R strategy for migration. So, when you migrate of IT systems, AWS classify there are 6 type of strategies, and it doesn't mean you have to choose one. It can be a mixed, but it generally helps you to decide how would you migrate your IT system to cloud. So it's based on a research from Gartner, and I think their strategy was 5Rs. So AWS further developed it into 6R strategy. So the first R is rehost. And it simply means to lift all your applications from your data center and shift it as it is, as the same structure to AWS cloud. So for example, if you have a web server, a database server, and storage in your data center, and through the rehost strategy, it will become an EC2. It can be an EC2 instance that hosting your web server, and the EC2 instance that hosts your database, and then you use maybe S3 for your storage, for your file storage. So the benefit of this approach is quick. It's quick to be done because you don't need any optimizations and re-architectures. You just simply move your current IT architecture to cloud. And also this can be automated. So it could be your first choice of moving your applications to cloud, and then you can re-architect it. And it's great for cost saving. So GE simply buys through rehosting, even without going into cloud optimizations. It saves 30% of its IT cost. And so this is the first approach, rehost. The second approach is called replatform. And the difference between rehost and replatform is replatform is due mostly to shift and lift, except for some services it will be replaced by cloud products. So for example, your database server could become an RDS database, so AWS cloud products. So it's aimed at targeting, optimize certain products that in your old architecture. And the third strategy is the one with the biggest change. So it's called refactor. So it simply means it, regardless of your current architecture, you would reimagine it and redesign it on cloud, and you tend to use cloud native features such as serverless products. For example, the same for your old database instance. Instead of replacing it to an RDS or a database hosted by EC2, but you can replace it to Aurora, so which is a serverless database. And this is really the most expensive option, but the benefit of this option is when you have a really strong business need to add features or scale your product. So it means if we use refactor, a replatform, or rehosting, it's still unable to satisfy your needs, your scaling need, then refactor would be a better choice. And besides these three strategies, the next three are a bit of is a less significant change, but it can be very useful. For example, retire, which simply means when for the applications it doesn't really create any values or useful, then simply just shut it off, which will save your cost and management cost. And for some on-premise service, you might want to retain. For example, those ones you just recently updated, maybe you can move them to cloud later. So for those, or for some applications, you have to keep it on your premise. And then for those ones, the strategy will be retain. And the last option is called repurpose. So it means to move your workflow to a SaaS, so software as service platform. So for example, Salesforce is a good example. For all the business development and account management tasks, most of company now, they do not need to have to own a software. They can just buy from Salesforce.com and to buy it as a regular service. So these are the 6 strategies of migration, and you may have to mix some of them together. But in the future, we will talk about the pros and cons of each techniques in more details. Thank you.